Hey everyone, sorry I'm late. I have been racing around all morning. Oh my goodness, crazy time. So yes, Shelly, I'm running late. And I'm not set up, so give me a second. There I am. See, I'm gonna show up. I promise you. Just sometimes. I was on calls all day, so yes, I am on Arizona time, which is an hour later. So I was like, oh, I have plenty of time. And obviously I do not. So let me put my screen in here. I'm excited to talk to you. Yippee skippy. Yes, I used to say that. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Here we go. Share. Okay. I think I'm ready now. Oh my goodness. I just have to find my notes. Hold on one second. Let's see. There it is. Maybe I can pull it up here so I actually know what I'm talking about. Sorry. I'm usually much more organized. My light actually looks pretty decent today. That's awesome. So as you're sitting there and Shelly specifically, and whoever is the other person that's here that isn't popping in to let me know who you are, what is something that you were really excited about learning so far in our 6 days? Because today we're on day 7 already. So what's something that you have learned that you know for sure you are going to use? Hi, Carrie. Good to see you. And be able to really, utilize in your ministry, utilize as an author, as a speaker, as a ministry leader. Something that the real idea, templates. Yes, templates are great. So the real idea, we are going to look at reels, and that'll be next week. I'll show you a quick way to create those. They are fairly easy to do. I think they're actually easier to do on YouTube than they are on Instagram for the most part. Although I do add elements once I get them over to Instagram. Not sure I'm going to share that because that's done on your phone. So I might have to do like a screen share, like a screen recording of that. So I might have to kind of practice that. I'm taking a break from Canva to tune into you. LOL, templates and organizing projects still need to try to record. Nice. Yeah, that's I love the organization of it. It really does help you keep things all straight. Okay, so today we are going to do using frames in Canva, and I'm going to pull up my screen. There we go. And let's talk about frames. Frames are really a great way to streamline your images. It's a great place to be able to really define those placeholders and the way where you want designs to go, the shape that you need them to be. So I use frames all the time, not just for people, but for other items as well. So let me find my RPU thing. Is it here? Let's go into this one right here. Open. There we go. And we will go to day 7. Scroll. Oops, where'd it go? Oh, maybe it's not there. Oh my goodness. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I just need a blank one. So I'm going to get a blank screen here. All right, there we go. I just need a blank screen to work on, so that works. Okay, so what do frames do? Frames define placeholders for both images and video, by the way. And we are going to look at just some flexibility that you have when you use frames. We're going to look at how you can find frames to use and how to use shapes versus grids. And then the adjusting and the drag and drop features. It's just really a great way to to design work. It's actually super fantastic. So let's just talk about frames. And what you're going to do is click document so we can see our tools. We're going to go to elements. And then elements, we're just going to search frame. And it typically is a box up here for you to click on. You don't have to search frames. You can, but you can click on frames and then you can search within the frames, which is really helpful. All right, so there's all the kinds of frames, and we want to do frames, see all, and we are going to see the different frames that are available for us. Now, actually, I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you. If you scroll down, so if we click off a frame, if you scroll down, you're going to see at the bottom of your Elements tab the different types of frames there are. So there are shape frames, there are grid frames, and there are mock-up frames. And all of them have a different look, and you can use things a little bit differently depending on what you're trying to create. So the first is just the basic frame. So I'm going to do a see all here. And these are the basic shapes. And so we can go into see all, and they're just, shapes. So you can look through, discover the shape that you want. And then once you do, you can click it over to your canvas. You go to uploads so that you can upload perhaps a picture if you want. So we'll see if I have any pictures in here. Oh. Okay, here we go. Here's Scott Lindsay with Logos Software. You can drag and drop, and now his picture is going to be in a frame. Then you can, so some of the things that you would use this for is, for profile pictures. If you want to make it into a circle, oftentimes, you see creative ways that people design their images. And so you just find the circle, which I don't know where it is. I can usually find it. There it is. We can have our circle, and then you can put your person in it. Go down to my headshots, and I add Sarah. So if you click the image, it's going to go into your actual canvas, and then you just drag it over the frame and it pops in there. Now, when we look at this, I'll just give you a little high tip on how to arrange it. And so I'm going to do that now. So I have Sarah here, and this is the size. Let's see, I want to do like 4 across, let's say. So I'm going to take it and drag 4 of them, because I want all of my images to be the same size. Let's say I'm putting a flyer together for a speaking event. I want everything to be the same size. I will select all of the frames. I will position them. So you go to your position. We've talked about this before. To arrange, you might want to arrange the top, and then you may want to arrange them horizontally so they're all evenly spaced. Now you have everything the same size, and then you can go in and you can add your headshots. So I'm going to add Jen. I'm going to add Sandy. And I'm going to add, let's see, I want a certain type. Let's do Liz. There you go, Liz Holtzman. Okay, so here is a trick for when you are doing a bunch of images and you kind of want them the same. One of the pet peeves I have, just so you know, is when you look at a flyer for some type of event and there's like, 8 people that are featured in their little, square boxes or their circles. And all of their images, as you can see, are like Sandy has a smaller head. Sarah has smaller. Liz, her face is much more predominant and up front. We want them to all be the same size. And so what you do, let's start with Liz, since hers is the largest size that we have because she sent a close-up of her headshot of her face. We double click, and now do you see how you can move that within the frame? So you can just drag it down a little bit and now center Liz in the frame, and there we go. Then you have Sandy. So Sandy's face is quite a bit smaller than Liz's. So what we want to do is we want to click on it. It's also not centered. We want to kind of we just drag the image. You can see I'm just dragging that corner, and then we place it in the center of the frame. And now Sandy's face is similar to Liz's, and we can do the same thing with Jennifer. We can get her face a little bit bigger, place her in there. maybe a little bit too big, a bit smaller, and we can place her. And now we have images that are much more, and you can also drag, like if you wanted to keep it small, but you didn't want to cut off the top of her head, you can do that as well. And then you just drag it a little bit bigger, place that in the center. And now we have similar sizes of our heads, and it looks so much more uniform. You can also take, and let's say I want to add another person. You can go ahead and you can select them all, and then you can resize all of them at the same time by just dragging, selecting them all, and then resizing them. So you can add that fifth image into your flyer. All right, so that's how that whole thing works to make everything nice and uniform. Okay, so those are standard shapes. So standard shapes would be used on banners, social media posts, just anywhere that you want your image, but you don't want to have to just, bring in an image and, use a basic square, which you can, but it just gives you the option to have those fun shapes. You can also use it for those symmetrical layouts, so making them all positioned properly. And like I said, like a speaker flyer or something where you're highlighting people or things that you want to have the same size image. Now, the next thing is, let's make a new page. When we go back to elements, there are all kinds of creative shapes within the frames. And so you can go to frames and you can say like letters. Whoops. Letters. And now we're going to have letters that are frames, so we can spell a word. So let's spell Anne, since Anne's watching. See all, and we can add the N. And then let's say we want to, we're making a graphic for Christmas, so we could go into our designs, go back to all, and say Christmas. And we want a Christmas background, and we find all of these fun Christmas backgrounds. We can very simply just add into the frame. Maybe some backgrounds don't add it. It's not a very kind way. Let's do photos. I think it has to be a photo. We can add into, here it goes, yay. We can add these into our letters and just make a different design element that will kind of pop and stand out. And now we have a fun way of putting your name, Anne, on a Christmas graphic. You can also, with this, go in, because it's going to put it right in the center. You can always drag it. So I'm going to drag it all the way to the left, and then keep this one the center, and then drag this one all the way to the right. And now they all have different elements of that particular image. And you could even do it straight across. So like if you wanted to use this image here of a fireplace, we can put it in all of the graphics. Well, we don't want it all to have the stockings. And so we can do the same thing, put it all the way to the left, keep that one in the center, and do all the way to the right. And now we have, you can see the full graphic kind of behind it, and see how this one has part of the tree. You can even do the same thing you did with the last one. You can make this a little bit larger. So just have this as the tree. You can click on this just as the stockings. You can pull that over and center it. And then this one would be pulled to the size of the, without the stockings in it. And then when you put this graphic behind it, set image background. Now you can't see them, but then you can take the image background and do a transparency look. And so you have the image back there, but now you have Anne standing out in the front. So it's not the ideal graphic for that, but you get the idea. I thought of something else to tell you about that, but I cannot remember. Maybe it'll come back to me. So there are different creative images that you can use in your frames. And so you would go to, let's So you get rid of Christmas background. You would go to like mock-ups would be some of the ways that you can actually put some fun things in there with the different image kinds of, like if you wanted to put something on a computer, like you had a picture of your desktop and you wanted to put it on a computer so that you could show, when you come to your site, this is what you're going to see. And so you could have, put those things in there. So, yeah. All right. Next, let's see, creative shapes, numbers. Again, those just can be done for a creative element. Then you have grids. And grids is where it's going to automatically give you a collage. And so you look at the grids here. You can click on this and you can pick which image you want. So let's say we're going to do this image right here. And it's going to go ahead and create that grid for me instead of me having to take all the shapes and size them and get them in the exact place. So I can go to my headshots file perhaps, and I can put, I can put Liz here. I can do Tracy here. And I can do, let's find somebody else who is in a landscape, maybe Jerry Lean down here. And it's just a really easy way to create a quick image. So let's say you went on a family vacation and you are wanting to put together a collage. Let's get rid of this. Whoops. Let's add another one. There we go. So let's go to elements. Here we are with our collages. I went on a family vacation. I want to put something together for Instagram or for Facebook to post about that. And I don't want to have a bunch of different images. I want them all on the same grid. You can go to uploads and let's see what images I have in here. All right, so here's some images. Here's my grandson, Jackson. We'll put him over here. Here is my coffee cup. And then we could do a landscape image of the mountains. And then I have a post with all the images that I need to talk about my vacation where I had time to study, I got to visit my grandson, and I got to see Mount Rainier. So that's a way to use grids in a very simple way to put together a collage for your presentations. Then I want to show you some effects that you can do with the frames. Let's go back to these ones. Get rid of Liz. So let's say that I want to outline the frame. So it might be that I want something to stick out and stand out, and maybe it's blending into the background too much. So if I had like a darker background here, let's go ahead and put that in. So I have a dark background, and because it's so dark, it's going to be hard maybe to see these images kind of pop out. They kind of blend in at times, like they're over here in Sarah's picture. It kind of blends into the background. Liz's shirt blends into the background. So I can go in and I can actually do it all at the same time, or I can do just one at a time. But I can go to this line up here, these 3 lines, and I can say add a border. So I just click on what kind of border I want. So I can click on that border, and now I have a black border, as you can see. And so that doesn't stand out very well. So then I can go in and say what color. And so this is the border color, the one that looks like an O. And I can choose the border color that I want. And then I would like it a little thicker. So I go to border weight and I just drag it. And now I have all of my images the same. And now they pop right off of the screen or right off of the background so I can see the images really clearly. Let me show you something really cool with the with a square image. So if I were to use a square image and stick a photo in it, we'll do Tina. All right, so there's Tina in a photo image. Now I'm going to add a border to it. I'm going to stretch it a little bit, and I'm going to change the color so it stands out. I'm going to change this one to white. This button right here is the corner rounding. So when you click on it, you can drag the button over, and you see how the corners are being rounded? So you can choose to have really super round corners, or you can choose just slight round. But it's a really fun feature, and I think it adds just a good element to your graphic. What question did you have? What size is my canvas? My canvas is a presentation size, so it's like what we can go up here if you want to know what size it is. Let's do it. Go to resize, and it is telling me that my graphic is, let's see, those are suggested. Custom size. My graphic is 1920 by 1080, which is the size of a PowerPoint or Keynote presentation. All right. Now let's change the image effect in the frame. So I have this image of Tina. I'm going to go in and say edit, and I want to create, so sometimes when I do graphics and everyone has like obviously different colors on, and I want my graphic to look more aesthetically pleasing, I may go in and make everyone's image black and white. And so you can scroll down here to mono, and you can make her black and white. And now if I do that, every person, you have to do each one individually. You can't do them at the same time. Will have a more even, more aesthetically pleasing look. You can also decide the intensity, so you can make it less black and white. So like this is taking out some of the black and white and keeping some of the colors. You can see like there's full on color, and then it will change as you move your element to the end of the bar, which then gives you a full black and white image. You can also do some fun things with images with other colors if you want something more vivid, if you want something more cool colors, warm colors. So you can go in and play with those. I use these filters a lot when I use regular graphics and I want them to have a certain tint to it. So if I'm doing something in the green family and my graphic is purple, I may be able to take out some of that red and purple tones and add some blue and green tones to it to make it match better. Now, as I said, and you notice with the letters that it doesn't have to be a person that you stick into your frame. You can also just go to background, or you can go to, elements, look up photos. Here's photos, see all. And you can use their images in a frame as well. And that's where you can change the colors to match your graphic if you would like. You can also add a video into that graphic. And so if you have, I do this a lot for Reels, and then you can play it. And now that video is played in a size that perhaps I need for a certain presentation or element in my graphic. All right, I already did that. You can also adjust the transparency. So if you were to put an image in here and you wanted it to be transparent, you can use the transparency feature just like you can on any other images, and it just does that for the photo. It doesn't do it for the background. You can also use your frame as kind of a box template for yourself. So let's take this out and do a different color here that stands out. And I'm going to type in the word excited because I want a person who looks excited. So you see this person is very excited. but I don't want the pink background. I want it to look like she's sitting in a box. So I can click on this. I can go to background remover. It's going to take out that. And then I can even take this and make it a thicker box. And I can do all these fun elements. Maybe I do another couple of them and have them be just images that I use on a particular graphic design that I'm doing. And see, it'll automatically take the background out because I asked it to do it on the first one. And so now I have a fun way of showing some images in a graphic that can all match because I don't have a blue background and a yellow background and a pink background. So using it that way. I know I had something else. Okay, so let's say, remember yesterday or last time in day 6, we talked about how to do templates and send them and share them. So I'm going to go back into the template that I shared for our Advent marketing and show you how this worked. This is for the Advent devotional. So let's say I did an Advent devotional and I'm sending out this graphic for people to use to be able to share with their book. So it's a template that I'm going to give you so that when your book launches, you can put your book cover in it and utilize the same template. And so I could actually lock every single thing except for the image. And then I can go to my, my book covers, and you can simply take your book cover and stick it in. And now it has an ebook for the lights of Christmas. So it's a very easy way to share templates. If you have an event you're doing and you're giving everyone graphics and you say, go ahead and take this graphic and you can put your picture in it and put your name on it. And so you can lock everything except for the picture and their name. Maybe you allow them to write a quote, whatever you want them to do. You don't lock that in your collaboration or your brand template that you share. And then they can drag and drop their own picture into this. Now, when I click on this image, it is going to first delete my picture, and then it's going to delete the frame. So that every time when you click delete the first time, it's not going to delete the whole thing. It's just going to delete the picture so that you are able to still have that in your design element. So that's a great way to share images and keep things very uniform. So I think that's all I had for frames. It's a great way to keep everything symmetrical. That's why I like using it. I love using it as a placeholder. It also makes making graphics. So when we make our graphics for our authors for the Amazon, we change out the background. We will place the graphic of their book in this, and we don't have to spend all the time recreating from scratch. We can utilize templates that we've made that work and that have all the information on it, and we change those up. So yeah. That is what I have for you today about frames. So I hope you learned something. Maybe if you did learn something, you can show me or you can tell me about it in our Redemption Press University Facebook page and let other people know what you are learning. And we will see each other Saturday. I have no idea what we're doing, but we're going to do something amazing. I'm quite certain of it. So hope you will join me Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, and look forward to having you there. Bye for now. Thanks for joining me.